During the period 2012 to 2015, you will see an acceleration of that shift. And by 2021, you will see a calming. You will see a change. The changes will be very evident, and that community that I've spoken of will be much more prevalent, and that will be the way.
And so do you think we're going to do all of this in time to save this planet?
The planet is not going anywhere.
So the global warming things and all that kind of stuff that people talk about, is there something to that?
What I would say to you is the planet is not going anywhere. That is not to say that humankind is not going anywhere. But what I would say also is that you already can see a shift in the thinking of man. You can see changes in the way that we approach our daily lives. And these things are with that awareness. And as that awareness grows, we will see continued evolution of ideas and methods and actions, which will forestall to a degree. But our goal is to bring things back to balance. And remember that you are your Earth. So if humankind were to disappear, and I am not saying that it will, but if humankind were to disappear, you as being would not. Does this make sense to you?
Yes, that makes sense to me. If we're all, are there going to be other leaders that emerge around the world that will inspire the sort of hope that maybe we're feeling right now in this country?
Indeed, I would say so, but I would also again remind you, and I will go back, and I'm becoming redundant, Cathy tells me, but if we are to think of community, community is really a manifestation of being. It is almost like a mini-me. Community is a mini-me of being, because it is an awareness of one another and of the connections and the network of one another, how we are all interconnected and how my success is affected by yours and vice versa. And so what I would say to you is that these new leaders are already among us, but they may not be on a national level. And what I would also say to you is that the national levels that you see about you now will be altered. The geopolitical structures that you now see in place will change.
And so it almost sounds like we will be better off if we sort of go back in time.
Depends on the time, and it depends on who you are. The person in the arena with the lions charging them would not agree. But I would say to you that...
But I'm thinking like quilting circles and carpools and you know, ways that people relied on each other through volunteerism, and you know, we had a lot of that, and then as people prospered more, they sort of moved to a place of being more individualized.
Indeed. We have become a society, at least in this country, because there are parts of the world where community is still the root foundation. But when we speak of this society in this country, we are speaking of a society that goes home at night, pushes a button, their garage door opens, they pull in, the garage door closes behind them, and they never know the person who lives next door. So what I am suggesting to you is that we will be reaching out to one another as the need arises. And it is in that reaching that we will be strengthened, because there will be greater connections formed.
And so what would you suggest that we do?
In what sense?
To strike this balance. Like, what would be my part in to help with this balance coming underway?
For you, what you are doing right here is a great gift. You are spreading the word of being. You are spreading the word of community. You have created a community among those who are like-minded to you. Have you not? And so as you gather those people to you, they will resonate with those whom they have the greatest connection with whom they have an understanding. You will see a growth in healers. You will see a growth in individuals who work from nature and from their own spiritual strength to expand. And as that happens, so you will become strengthened as well.
Will we change the definition of success in this country?
Oh, indeed. Right now, for many, success is measured by your bank account, is it not? Mm-hmm. Or the size of your car. Mm-hmm. Success will truly be the attachments that you form, the relationships and the depth of those relationships that you form. Because that is the true test. That is when we can truly say that you are an accepting individual. And by acceptance, we are not judging. We are not saying that something is right or wrong. We are only saying that it is, and that as such it serves being.
And will that require us to get rid of capitalism as a means of how our society exists in this country?
I would say not. I would say that it is really on a much more personal level.
Okay.
It is in how we interact with one another, how we form that community, what we do with the capitalism that we have. When you have money, do you hoard it or do you share it?
Well, Creatious, this has been very interesting.
This as well.
And we're almost out of time here, so I'm going to ask if you could bring Cathy back to us.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Indeed. All right, here we are.
How are you doing?
I'm good. My reaction is always in my cheeks because, you know, one of the things we talked about is I've never actually seen myself do this, but I know I have a very big grin on my face because my cheeks always hurt when I'm, not hurt, but ache when I'm done, so.
And were you aware of the things that we talked about?
Yeah. I'm always sitting right in here, on my shoulder somewhere, so. My roost.
And do you find that you learn from what Creatious has to say?
Definitely.
I mean, I think you were saying something earlier that doing this has sort of changed
a lot
the
of
way
my
you live.
Yeah. It's really a lot of what Creatious talks about is acceptance. And one of the things it's done is it's made me, you know, every day when I walk out my door, I find I'm much more accepting, but much more or less likely to be ruffled. You know, if someone cuts me off in traffic, I'm not going to, you know, go crazy and scream.
Good, because I'm going to cut you off because we're at the end of our show.
All right, good.
And I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. And this is Rosie Stanko urging you to follow your heart in the new age. Good night.